What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Dead to a Dying World, entitled Elegy. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Dallas, Texas, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very dark, apocalyptic, post-rock influenced hybrid of both black metal and doom metal. Yeah. My first introduction to this band was their 2015 second full-length entitled Litany. Everything about that record really blew me away, from the really strong songwriting, to the dual vocal stylings, to the mixture of harsh and sung vocals, usage of keys and violas. It was just a very intense and strong sort of record, and it goes without saying it probably had one of the best vinyl presentations I had ever seen. And of course, listening to that album only led me to find out more about who this band was and what they were all about. Of course, they have a very strong live stage presence. I believe they were one of the first bands I had seen at the very first Red River Family Fest in Austin, Texas many years ago. And then, of course, it only led me to listening to their very first full-length album, their self-titled album. Really, really strong stuff. And ever since then, I've had the opportunity to see this band live again in, of all places, a taqueria. When I heard that I think they were touring with Sabbath Assembly, and I got to see both of those bands in a Mexican restaurant taqueria, which is insane. And it's an experience I'll never forget for the rest of my life. But yeah, great stuff, great music, great people, and I was very curious to hear what the next step this band was going to be taking, and of course came the announcement that they were putting out their brand new full-length album on Profound Lore, and I wanted to see and hear how things were going to go. And now here we are with the third Dead to a Dying World album entitled Elegy. It's 6 tracks, and it clocks in at around 49 minutes in length, and I honestly feel like this is a drastic sort of step back in comparison to Litany, because Litany was a very lengthy, cinematic sort of record, whereas here with Elegy, we have 6 tracks. And what makes this interesting is that every single track that's on here feels like a build-up to something stronger. You have a song at the very beginning, but then the next song after that is lengthy, and then repeat, and so on and so forth. Really, the main story of Elegy are the 3 really lengthy tracks that are on here. The Seer's Embrace, Empty Hands, Hollow Hymns, and Of Moss and Stone. 3 really lengthy tracks followed by 3 interludes. 1 interlude apiece, sung by the 2 vocalists in this band, and then 1 track which features both of their vocals. But before I get into that, let's talk about the music. And of course, if you're familiar with Dead to a Dying World's musical stylings and aspirations, I think you're going to find something really wonderful here with Elegy. There is a lot of heaviness being brought forward with this music. I love the guitar playing being done throughout this record. I love the warm, audible bass that you hear throughout this record. I just think it's awesome, and I think this is a very well mixed and produced sort of record. A lot of craziness going on with these guitar riffs, and it's just awesome. Upon hearing the Seer's Embrace and then getting on to Empty Hands, Hollow Hymns, you just get a lot of great and awesome guitar riffs going on throughout this record. It's very powerful, it's very meaningful, and everything sounds awesome. The drum work on here is fantastic. I love the fact that things differentiate a lot between the drums. You have the very slow and steadiness where you get that doomy, sludgy sort of influence, and then you get on to some of the later moments of the songs where you hear some blast beats and some fills and all that other stuff. And I just think it sounds right. I think this drum performance definitely is something that really should be applauded, because I think this is a lot of stamina being done here for some of the lengthy tracks on this record. And then, of course, you have other elements of this album that make this album so special, like the the viola sounds, the extra added elements of atmosphere and tension being put forward on this record, which I think is a really nice touch and definitely makes this album a lot more meaningful. And when it comes to the vocals, of course, you have the dual vocal stylings that you hear throughout this record. If I'm not mistaken, Mike and Heidi are the two vocalists of this band. You hear both of their aggressions come forward in their musical stylings. Of course, Mike has some really great growls. Heidi's growls sound good, but when you hear Heidi's singing vocals, I just think it's really, really awesome. And then you have the sung vocals, which have this almost folky post-rock sort of approach going forward, going to the interlude tracks on this album like Syzygy, Vernal Equinox, and then the track where you hear them both together, Hoon from Falling Water. It's just really, really solid stuff, and I really enjoy the variety being brought forward by both of their vocal styles, whether it be sung vocals or just harsh growls. I think they both work, and they both have their very awesome respective elements. So overall, in comparison to Litany, I feel this is a much different, scaled back sort of record, but I don't think it takes away from how enjoyable and how strong this record is. And if you've been accustomed to this band's style and musical presence, I think you're going to find something to enjoy here with Elegy. I think this is a very, very awesome album to listen to, and I'm definitely looking forward to them continuing to take more essential next steps in their sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Dead to a Dying World Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally, and it is available physically as a Digipack CD and 2LP with a side D etching. I believe there are still copies readily available of that record, and expect this band to be doing some touring in the month of May. So, again, the album is Elegy by Dead to a Dying World. This is released on Profound Lore Records. Go check this one out. And for a score, I'm feeling a very strong 8.5 out of 10 for this one. Very awesome mixture of black metal, doom, post-rock, and other awesome apocalyptic elements. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to previous Dead to a Dying World releases. Or any of you guys into Dead to a Dying World, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.